Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for December 2025. You have this dragonfly spirit. It says, shift your way of thinking and tackle the issue from a different angle. You have this exchanging gifts card. It says, there's a dance, a give and take. What you give, you will get back. So there you go, Sag. I think that, your new middle name should be different angle because Uranus in Gemini for the next 7-ish years. It is retrograde in Taurus right now, but it's already entered into Gemini, so you've already gotten a little bit of that flavor of Uranus and Gemini, and you might as well start working with it now. And it doesn't move back into Gemini until next year, but still, like I said, I would definitely be working with the energy. As I've always said to you, Sag, I don't think you really have a problem working with that Gemini energy, especially with Uranus there, so not really a big issue. You have the Chariot, the Page of Wands, and the Five of Swords. I feel like you're literally taking a risk to move in a new direction in your life. We have several cards that would say that. All these cards, Seven of Pentacles, Six of Swords so far, and the Wheel of Fortune. So there you go, definitely moving in a new direction. In your current general energies, you start with the Chariot, the Page of Wands, and the Five of Swords. Chariot is, again, charging forward in a new direction. He's leaving the city behind him and he's looking for something better, really, in his life. Everything is the same in the city, and so he just wants to set himself apart to find his, what he is aligned with. He has these stars up here, these moons right here. They represent as above, so below. And these two sphinxes here are the mysteries of the universe. They are guiding him towards what he is in alignment with. So I think the key word for you is going to be alignment. If you want something, you have to have it before you can have it. And people always say, how is that possible? And I always tell them, you just have to act as if you already have it. You have to adopt the habits. You have to get rid of the bad habits as well, which I think people forget about. And so if you just match those things, you will move in a new direction. You also have to leave behind everything that you've known. He is leaving everything behind, and he's choosing to make the change. So he's starting the journey before he has what he wants, and because of that, the universe is bringing him in the right direction. But definitely could be a victory. And you end with the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is your card, Sagittarius, and very positive movement forward when it comes up at the end in the good stuff like this. You have the Page of Wands. I think you are very different than everybody else. It's I wouldn't say the readings were bad this month at all, actually, except for Leo. Not calling Leo out, but theirs was a little bit more challenging maybe. But I just didn't feel very much excitement. And yours feels much more like you are excited for the new beginnings that could be coming in for you. Page of Wands, he's just enthusiastic and excited for a new beginning. So he follows his enthusiasm, and that's how he gets all the good stuff that he wants in his life. And so I feel like you are just embracing this energy. You have the Five of Swords, definitely cutting something out. Five of Swords can represent walking away, winning at all costs, can represent a separation. I feel with the Chariot that you are just making, moving away from things in your life, he's walking away from these two people on the card. I always say the Five of Swords is taking a risk because he is taking a little bit of a risk by walking away from this battle. So you might be making moves, and these moves could be risky, but they will probably be worth it. Plain and simple, Sagittarius. Your first row is pretty simple. I think you're just taking a risk to charge forward towards something that you want. Let's see. With the Chariot, you have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups is the fear of not getting what you want, right? And so I feel like a lot of people feel this right now, probably because we are way too used to not getting what we want. He has these three cups in front of him, and then he has this new one that's reaching out. But the three cups say that he has tried to do something before, and he failed at least 3 times, or things didn't work out at least 3 times. And now he's getting another opportunity. It makes perfect sense. We had a Mercury retrograde in your sign. Mercury is retrograding in Scorpio right now if you're watching this early. So if you're watching this before December, it's retrograde in Scorpio. If you're watching this after December starts, then obviously it's direct. It's going to be direct in Scorpio for a little while. Then it's going to move back into your sign. Because it went retrograde in your sign, obviously you probably could be thinking about things that you want to redo, or things that you would like to accomplish that maybe you didn't accomplish over the last many years. And so I kind of feel like I feel that with the Chariot, that you are like revisiting an accomplishment, or maybe you've never had the accomplishment, but you're revisiting the idea of accomplishing something, and I feel it's time to go for it again. With the Page of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles. I really do feel this time things will be different here, Sag. If you have experienced the same story over and over and over again with that Four of Cups, Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. He's looking at what he has grown, and he is saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth it for me to keep putting time, effort, energy into these pentacles, or is there something better or different that I could do with my time? And that's what he's asking. We have the Seven of Pentacles twice here, and then we have the Six of Swords. So it looks to me like you are going to be moving in a new direction, or you're going to be experiencing some sort of change there. With the Five of Swords, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant can be like blessings. The Hierophant, he is making a symbol right here with his hand. He is blessing these two people in front of him. I feel that a lot of you are kind of creating your own blessings. The reason I say that is because we go up to the Ten of Wands to the Five of Pentacles. I like the Ten of Wands personally, and those 10 Wands, like, sure, it can be a card of being burdened and carrying a heavy weight, which you definitely have, Sagittarius. But he is very close to achieving his goal. He's about to reach his home, and those 10 wands are his harvest. And so I kind of feel this is encouraging you to keep moving forward, to keep going. And the Five of Pentacles would just say you need to tell yourself that you are strong enough. The Five of Pentacles says do not call attention to your weaknesses. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this What Do You Need to Release card. Yes, we'll talk about it. You have this card, this full moon in Sag. It says, look at the big picture. So definitely a good time to look at the big picture. Sometimes, I think, when we're at the end of a journey, one of my favorite books of all time, The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, he says when we are at the, closest to our goal, that's when we experience the most resistance. So that's usually when people give up, right? When they're so close to accomplishing something. And that Five of Pentacles and this look at the big picture card, I think, is saying, don't look at the obstacles that you're facing. Don't look at the things that are in front of you. Focus on the accomplishment. Like, what will happen? How will your life change after you get to your home with that Ten of Wands? Because I think it'll be great, Sagittarius. But if you're too focused on like the work that you still have to do, then maybe you're not going to do it. And I would definitely think about it. You even have the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Wands, and the Seven of Cups. The thing with the Knight of Swords is that sometimes I think he gets to the next card in a reading and he's choosing to like run away. He's choosing to run to the past, right? And so the Knight of Swords says, don't run away from something. And I'm not saying you would run away, but it basically says charge through. Don't, go backwards. And I just feel that the Knight of Swords is saying, like, you are very close to a finish line here, Sag, and it's definitely not time to give up. You have the Ten of Wands. Again, Ten of Wands, he's carrying his harvest, and he is very close to achieving his goal. Now, one thing that you could get rid of, because you have that card, this other card that I can't see says, what do you need to release, right? And so the Ten of Wands I look at is good, but sometimes those 10 Wands, like some of them, might be obligations or issues or challenges from other people. And so I would look at the challenges, like some of the challenges that you have right now or some of the burdens that you're carrying, they might be necessary for you to accomplish a goal. But some of them might be other people's problems or other people's drama, and that's what I would be removing from the Ten of Wands. The other thing is again, I think we are in a time of perspective, and that card says look at the big picture. With the Ten of Wands, those wands are right in front of his face, so he can't see how close he is to his goal. He might need to like take a break real quick. He might need to realize how close he is, because that will motivate him to finish, right? And I do feel it would be a good time for you to like remind yourself why you are doing something in your life at this time, just so you keep going, right? You have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups can be a lot more options as well. The other thing to think about is there an easier way to carry those 10 wands? It's like you're carrying those 10 wands, but do you have a tractor, right? Is there something in your life that could carry those 10 wands for you? So I kind of feel like the Seven of Cups is saying, like, there might be other ways. There might be other options as well that could help lighten the load, or there could be some improvements you could make right now that would lighten the load. And that's definitely something I would think about. Also, pretty crazy, we have 777 right here. So 777 might be an important number for you, or just the number 7 in general might be an important number, Sag. Let's see. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Lovers. There's a little bit of love here in this reading, so if you want love, definitely could be a person entering into your life or communicating with you. I wouldn't rush with the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords isn't necessarily bad, but it can be a person who's rushing or wants things to move too quickly, so you might have to tell someone to slow down if you are attracting love. I kind of feel this is a choice, though. Traditionally, the Lovers was a card of the crossroads, kind of represented having a choice to make in love. But I feel that this could be any choice that you're making, and I feel like the choice you need to make is to keep going here, Sagittarius. With the Ten of Wands, you have the Queen of Swords. Pretty good, because the Queen of Swords, when she comes up during Mercury retrograde, can represent getting a lot of clarity. And again, yes, I understand the retrograde is over at the end of the month, but today is November 23rd. Sorry, I had to look at the date. And so this video will be published on the 24th of November. If you're watching it before the 29th, when Mercury goes direct, and even after, right, we'll still be in the shadow, you could be getting some answers or clarity. Now, we have she's kind of in a Seven of Pentacles sandwich here, Sagittarius. So the Seven of Pentacles is a card of analysis. It kind of wants you to analyze what's going on. If you're trying to accomplish a specific goal, for example, it wants you to look at what you're doing and make sure, like, again, the best way I could describe the energy is it's like you're carrying those wands, but like, do you have a tractor that could pull those wands for you? Or do you have like a horse or something? It's like there's something that could maybe make the burdens easier, or could make them work smoother. And I would do your research. Obviously I don't know what all of you do, so I can't tell you how to lighten the load, but there's clearly a way that you could be lightening the load right now. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, the problem with these two cards together is it's like too much going on. Seven of Cups, too many options. Two of Pentacles is spinning plates, trying to do too much at once. So that could be the other thing as well that you could think about. If you look at this card, he's, maybe like, I don't know, 100 feet away from his home, right, on the Ten of Wands. It's like maybe he could put those wands down and pick up like 2 of them and run back and forth, and he would get there much faster than trying to carry all 10 wands to one place, right? And so the Seven of Cups, Two of Pentacles, I think this whole row is saying, is there a more efficient way? Or is there something you could do to make it more efficient? The other thing is are there distractions as well? Again, I don't know. I can't answer that question for you, Sagittarius. If you're trying to get something done, but, you have people in your life who are distracting you, either you need to, like, draw a boundary, or you need to tell them to solve their own problems, or, something is what I'll say there. And I feel this is very important for you, Sagittarius, because just intuitively, I feel like you are close to something good. And so, you know what I mean? It's like other people can wait. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Thinker card and this Message in a Bottle card. The Thinker card, like I said, I do think analysis would be a very good thing for you to do right now and make sure you're being efficient. The Message in a Bottle card can just represent good news. And again, this Mercury retrograde, just a lot of people have had these messages of getting good news, or, receiving approval for something or whatever. And so there definitely could be a good news situation coming in for you. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold, but again, Five of Pentacles wants you to focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses, and I do feel you've been building a lot of strength. 10 of Wands, right? If you were carrying 10 heavy-ass wands like that guy is, you would be pretty strong. So I feel you need to focus on the things that make you feel strong, that make you feel better. I actually kind of feel good about the Five of Pentacles as well in your reading. Like, I kind of feel like you are stronger. It's like you actually are. So there's no need to fake it or anything with that card. You have the Seven of Pentacles again. So again, is the juice worth the squeeze? Only you can answer that question. And you could be analyzing multiple things in your life, like relationships, ideas, businesses, things that you're working on, your health, pretty much everything, you could be putting under a little bit of a microscope here to make sure that you are doing things that are worth it and you're not doing things that aren't worth it. And that definitely would be a very good focus for you with these cards here, Sagittarius. I also do feel something about money here. Like you are changing your finances, or, it's like there's an opportunity is what it kind of feels like to me. We'll see what happens when we clarify. You have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving on to calmer shores. So I do feel there are a lot of improvements coming in for you. I definitely feel like saying you definitely want to finish, right? Knight of Swords. My attention keeps being drawn to that Knight of Swords and that Five of Pentacles for whatever reason. And it's like really saying to me that you will be happy that you have finished something. Didn't I say this to you in the mid-monthly reading, I think, that I did for you for November 2025? Just like I just feel the need to really encourage you to finish something that you're doing. I just feel the need to like really kind of push you a little bit here. And it's not even like a push. It's just a support. Let's put it that way, Sagittarius. I feel like you'll be happy that you did. And, especially if you're working on something that requires a lot of effort, and also especially if it's something that you've already tried before with that Four of Cups. So if you're, giving something a second chance or trying again, or a third or a fourth chance, this is not a person. I think this is something you're trying to make successful that you're working on. I really feel this card is saying, like, keep going. Like, the whole reading is saying, don't give up now. With the Five of Pentacles, you show up. The Temperance card, so you show up twice in this reading so far. And the Temperance card puts you in a position of power and strength. Now, this right here is the path to glory, and there's this glowing crown back here. This card kind of says you could easily step off on this path and claim your crown. So again, another symbol that is kind of saying like, hey, don't give up now. You're very close. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the King of Swords. It's like you know how to do a lot is what I'm getting. The King of Swords is knowledge and wisdom. But he knows a lot, but he needs to get the wisdom. Wisdom is putting your knowledge into practice, because there are there are things that you can't learn unless you do it, right? And that is true wisdom. When you know things because you've done them, and you know something just a little bit extra, right? And maybe that's the stage that you're in. If you think about it, we have the Seven of Pentacles. The next card would be the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is mastering a craft. And again, the difference between the apprentice and the master is really not much. It's just that the master has been doing something longer. And I almost feel that for you, Sagittarius, where it's like you are about to master a skill, or you are mastering a skill here. With the Six of Swords, you have the Eight of Cups. Don't give up. You always get the Eight of Cups with me. I'm always saying never settle, right? Sagittarius, like many of your readings this year have said, do not settle, Sag. There is something, you are meant for greatness or something. And, the Eight of Cups, he's walking away from these 8 cups. He is walking away from something, but he knows he's meant for more. I feel like you know that. I think you know that, Sagittarius. Like, you know that you're meant for much more than you've been experiencing. And again, I just really want to push you to really go for it at this time. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this mature man card. It says wise, older, influential male, a fatherly figure, a supportive figure, boss, mentor, teacher. King of Swords is an amazing card for a mentor, and it doesn't have to be a man. It could just be any person. So if you're looking for help, finding a person who is a master could be a good idea. You have this divine support. It says guidance, angelic signs, higher self, synchronicities, deep purpose, soul calling, dream messages, which we have that message in a bottle, and miracles. Yes, I kind of feel like you're getting a miracle you requested. Wheel of Fortune can kind of be a little bit of a turnaround. So it could be like a miracle in the sense that you're experiencing a turnaround or some sort of improvement here. You have the Seven of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. I feel like you need more fun, or you need to inject something with more fun. He has these polka dots on his cloak, and the polka dots in the tarot can represent taking something too seriously. So he's coming up in the good stuff, but At the same time, I kind of feel like being more playful would be a good idea. Like your approach to what you're working on, not taking it too seriously would be good. The other thing is that you're going to get this card a lot for the next 7-ish years until 2033. That's 2 3s there, Sagittarius. And until that time, we have Uranus and Gemini. And again, Uranus and Gemini is all about looking for other ways of doing things. So he is stealing these swords from this army in the background. And again, that's going to be a little bit of a superpower for you. So definitely something to think about. I would also look at what house Gemini is for you. Run your chart through, astro.com or whatever you use. And because you're all different, it's not going to be your 6th house or 7th house for all of you. It could be a different house depending on when you're born. And, wherever that is, I would go learn about that house and I would figure out how you can work with that energy differently, right? You have the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups could be a perfect match. You've been getting love with me a lot. Out of all the signs, you and Gemini have been getting a lot of love cards, which is kind of interesting. But you could be attracting an interesting person. Usually, 2 of Cups is someone who's different than your usual type. Kind of the funny thing that I get here, Sag, is like even maybe people in your life. This is coming up at the end, so you might not know this person yet. Could be a person you meet in the future. But I kind of feel like people in your life are like, why are you dating this person? But it's like they don't know everything about this person. So, don't let other people influence something that could be really good for you. It's almost like you're attracting a person who just isn't very flashy, but they could be. It's like they don't need to talk about it. So, I feel like you could be attracting a really good person. I also think for all of you, whether you want love or not, 2 of Cups is an amazing card for communicating with your higher self. Again, we still have Neptune and Pisces until January, and Neptune will be going direct at the beginning of December or whatever. And so, what I would say is carving out extra time to meditate, go for a walk, wherever you get your answers, I would definitely do that. You show up again. The Wheel of Fortune is also Sagittarius, so this puts you in a very good position. You show up twice. The Wheel of Fortune can also represent a change in your fortunes, luck. Could even be like a miracle turnaround kind of thing coming in for you here, Sagittarius. So I do feel that things are turning around. With all these 7s, with the 7 of Swords, you have all 4 7s now going this way, which is pretty crazy. I don't think I've had this ever happen in a reading. Maybe one time other than this. I've had something similar. I just did a reading a few weeks ago where someone had all 4 pages, I think, but I don't even think they were in a row. So you have all 4 in a row, which is interesting. Multiple 7s, number 1, can represent internal fears that don't exist. So letting go of your fears would be a good idea. 7 of Wands, 7 of Swords in the good stuff would represent keeping your ideas to yourself. We are in a very tactical time. That's why the 7 of Swords makes a lot of sense for you, with Gemini being your opposite sign, Sag. We have to be tactical. At the same time, if you come up with like a unique way of running your business or, fixing something in your life or making money or whatever, I wouldn't tell anyone, right? 7 of Wands is kind of like, have boundaries. Don't immediately share, everything, with these people or with people in your life. You might want to keep it to yourself, right? Here you go. With the 2 of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I kind of do feel like this is a person coming back around. I don't think this is an ex or anything, Sagittarius, but this could be like, something that never got going, or a person that's coming back into your life, but maybe you never dated. And so I do feel that for some of you. I also feel like your higher self is trying to get you to get the wheel moving forward. Again, I always say Wheel of Fortune is a very good card, but I think some people make it out to be better than it actually is, because we are the ones that have to get it to spin forwards. So to do that, we have to double down on the good stuff and get rid of the bad stuff just as quickly. So that's what I would do there. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Judgment card. A lot of stuff about purpose in these readings. And, what I've said to others is, like, in the Chinese zodiac, for example, next year is the year of the horse. And so I feel for, the year of the horse is all about momentum, taking off, making progress very quickly, moving with speed, all those things. And so I wonder if we are going to need to move very quickly next year and really make things happen as far as work or careers or our purpose or what we think our purpose is. I also think we have to be willing to change quickly. These people are standing in these coffins. The coffin is their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. And, we are, I believe, stepping into new lives. And so, could say make those changes, and the faster you let go of the past, probably the better. Let's see. You have this dog. It says protection from a powerful friend. King of Swords, right? King of Swords can be any type of mentor. And so having a person in your life who can help guide you would be a good idea. You have this coins card. It says money will be coming to you. Love it. Definitely could be increasing your earnings or making more money here, Sagittarius. So that looks good. You have this fair woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. I always clarify these woman cards, and you have this man card. It says dealings or relationships with a man. So definitely could be love coming in for you. Maybe the two of you look like that, sure. Could also be a mentor, right? You could be one of these people. The other person could be a mentor. You have this vase card. It says secret admirer. So definitely someone is interested in you. I'm telling you right now, if someone is coming back into your life, they're interested, right? And maybe you never knew that someone is. But again, if someone is coming back into your life that you haven't seen in a while, yes, is what I'll say there. For some of you, I feel like it's just a secret admirer. You have this rabbit. It says too much concern with sexual matters. Yeah, I would be careful of anything like that. A lot of devil energy at the end of the year here. I don't think it's bad. I just think the reasons are wrong. Is really the read that I've been getting on it across the readings at the end of the year. And so, yeah, no judgments here. If that's what you're into, go for it. But, I would be careful if you're not. I'll say that. But this looks pretty good, Sag. I actually like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month.